Guys, this is your boy, Krusty. This is going to be a quick video, I hope. I don't know how this is coming out because I'm using my cell phone right now. I don't have a proper cam. I don't have a lot of space on this video, like this camera, so I probably won't be able to do that long of a video. I'm just going to film a little bit of the intro, which is this now, and I might take a look around the car. I might do little things and kind of show you what I do as I do them. This is just a little bitty intro, kind of a first video stepping into the automotive portion of the YouTube, just to get it started. As I said on my community tab, I'm actually going to be looking to get a GoPro hopefully soon, but that's when I'm really going to start uploading more videos, is when I get the proper camera. So with that being said, let's do a little quick walk around. Some of this stuff you've already seen, some of the stuff I've done kind of, on my own, and then I'll kind of explain what I'm thinking about doing today. Okay, this is the motor on the Subaru. You've seen this before. I'm kind of like midway into doing some changes on it. I still haven't got it running 100% proper yet, but I'm working on it. I keep on coming up with changes, which is delaying getting it running, but kind of what I'm working on right now is the electrical system, trying to get everything going. As you can see right here, I've added a vacuum manifold so that I can clean up the vacuum lines. I think it's this one going to the map sensor, this one going to the pressure regulator, this obviously going to the brake booster, and this will be the feed going up under the intake manifold. I'm actually going to be removing the belt-driven power steering and going over to an electric Volvo unit. What you're seeing here is me trying to relocate the factory alternator to where the air conditioning used to sit. I tried to modify the stock bracket, which it would kind of work, but I don't like the way it's sitting, so I'm gonna buy a proper bracket to put it over there. But I do still have to build another one over here because I'm putting a second alternator over here for my stereo. I'm going to be running two totally separate electrical systems. This one is the stock alternator. It's just going to run the car, the lights, everything associated with making the car drive. The second alternator is a 250 amp alternator from US Alternators that will run just the stereo and any kind of aftermarket accessories that I have. I'm in the process of relocating the battery. As you can see right here, I don't know if it's coming in quite clear, or if I can, there we go. I've relocated the main relay box to right here. I just cut the fender out and mounted it from behind. The 4-gauge wire that I have right here feeds it. This is going to get cleaned up. You're not going to see this. I actually got to run maybe like a 6-gauge from here to where I'm about to work on today. All this stuff is getting cleaned up. For the most part, you're not going to see it. I'm trying to clean this engine bay up because I want it as clean as possible. As far as that's concerned, I am in the process. Let me move this out of here since it's kind of standing in the way. I've already made LS1 coils work. I did have the factory coils on there, but I think I burnt them out for having the wrong settings on my ECU, and I think I burned the coils out. So these were given to me, just made them work, and yeah, let's show you what I'm thinking about doing today. Okay, as you can see, I have most of the interior gutted out right now. Put a little bit of sound deadener right there, mainly because I was completely missing the little grommet or whatever that goes around the shifter here. So I was trying to fill this hole as much as possible. I still got to figure out a proper way to do it. But the reason why I got this gutted out is because of my power wires. As you can see, I'm missing my climate control system. I'll probably figure out a way to make my own. All I need is a heater for defroster. I'm not going to worry about air conditioning, at least not right now anyways. most of what I'm trying to do today, I believe, is going to be cleaning this mess up. I want to get these wires kind of organized a little bit, I guess. This wire right here, it's coming from the ECU. Somehow, I don't know if I did this by accident, not paying attention, but it comes from this right here, comes up and wraps around. I want to get this behind there so it's not like, yeah, and just cleaned up. I would like to figure out a way to mount this. I know the factory ECU location's there. There's nothing there right now, so it's more just like a place to put your foot. I kind of tried to figure out how to get this in there one day, but it wasn't really working. So I'm thinking about coming up here and making like a bracket to hang off of there and mount it there somehow. Probably won't be able to do that today, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I do got to, I think it's, I don't know if I can see it, but this wire in here, that is for my fan relay. I tried to make it work with the factory fan relay, and it wasn't quite working properly, so I think what I'm going to do is when I mount the ECU up there, I'll probably come off the bracket somehow and make another, I don't know, like a relay bracket, and run a completely standalone circuit, relay circuit for the fans. I'll use the wire there that feeds off the ECU. If you come in here and I move these wires out of the way, I got that little strip right there that has all my power wires. Those power wires are hot when the ignition is on, and I had to run those to get the standalone to work. I was working in conjunction with the people that actually make the Speedy EFI. I think his name was Chris, if I remember right, and he was talking me through everything. But kind of what I'm thinking about doing today, besides just cleaning up this mess and trying to organize it, get things easy, I might come in here. I had these kind of cut and made to fit an aftermarket like an LCD screen, and it just isn't properly working for my car. Like, it's not, it reads values that you would normally have on a gauge, but they're not accurate. And then I'm trying to figure out how I want to do, like maybe in this area right there where the stock climate system is, I'd like to make a small box that just has a heater core and a fan in it, and maybe tie it into the stock defroster thing, because that's really all I need it for. Even in my main car that I drive every day, I really only use the defroster, and that's just on cold days, because you know, the defroster will get your windows nice and clear, and it'll also give you some heat, so I don't need to worry about vents. The other thing I was thinking about, I wish I had the way to do it now, because if I come up here, let's see if I can get up in here without falling over or shaking too bad. Alright. Okay, so if I kind of scoot this out of the way a little bit, you can see these two places right here where light's coming through. That's the factory holes for the heater core, one on each side. I was originally thinking about running some wires through there, but I kind of would like to use a factory heater core and build a box in here. So kind of what I'm struggling with on trying to design what I want to do today, let me get this down in here a little closer, is I don't want to come up here too much, but what I'm trying to do is I've got 4 of these. I've got 2 red, 2 black. It's a little pass-through that I can do, and I need to drill some holes. I'm thinking about sticking them here. You know, 2 red, 2 black. And what this is going to be is for the electrical system, because I'm moving the batteries to the back. And the ones on the left side, obviously, will be to run the car with the main battery. and the ones on the right side will be for the stereo system. And I'm doing this because I just kind of want a somewhat clean way to run it through, that I could try to hide the power cables and it still be accessible but also hidden, if that makes any sense. So I want to do it kind of maybe in this area here, so that it's kind of centralized. It's up under the mount that's, you know, on the firewall back here, and it's like middle of the engine, so that I can run it up to the alternators and to the starter and everything else. And the plan is, for example, the main battery that runs the car, it'll have this one maybe somewhere in this area right here. The power cable will come from the battery down my like drive shaft tunnel, and then it'll come up and then just bolt here, right? And there'll be another, that 6-gauge wire will run kind of along that way over there, so I can go out to the fender and go over to that main relay box under the hood. That way it stays hidden, you know, kind of on the inside. And then on the outside, up under the hood, on this side, you'll have one cable will go straight to the starter, and one cable will go straight to the main alternator. And then for the ground side, you'll have one that'll go straight to the engine block, and then you'll have one that'll go straight to the alternator bracket. Trying to think. And then obviously you'll have a ground on the outside that'll go from the body to the motor as well. But I'm going to do that twice. One for the motor, or one for the to run the car, and one for the actual stereo. And that's what I'm thinking about doing today, but I got to figure out how I want to do this. So I might use my spare heater box from another car just to get a size comparison and see what we're going to do. But for right now, I think I'm going to try to get this mess under here, under this dash, cleaned up. So I'll be right back. Figured I'd show you where I'm at. I got things a little more cleaned up. I think I am going to make a bracket to hang the ECU from there. And I moved this. This is my little power distribution. I'm probably going to self-tapper that up to right here, so it's kind of where it needs to be. And I just kind of trying to clean it up and get the harness kind of zip tied up. Now what I'm working on now is actually doing the things. I got the first one done. I'm basically drilling out for the grounds the original heater hose location, and then I think I'm going to come down maybe right up in here, or maybe even, I don't know, maybe in here somewhere for the positives. I did the negatives there because it's going to be the most visible, and because of the black cable, I want it to kind of have as much ability to hide as possible. So I'm doing the two negatives there, and then I'm going to drop down and do the positives here where they can hopefully kind of hide a little bit. But I figured I'd just do that, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. Here's what I got figured out. I wasn't really a fan. As you can see, those two little black circles, that's where I tried to put them. And I don't know if you can see down there where I tried to drill the hole, but it's like you got the hole right here, and it's the thickness of the metal, but then it drops down like that much and then goes to another metal. So there's like, it's hollow under there. So I'll probably just fill that with silicone or whatever, you know, like the what you call it, the seam sealer. I don't even think I drilled this side. I just punched the divot for it to start. So I'll probably seam seal that and just cover it back up. I ended up moving them over here because it was thin enough for me to go through. And with it being on an angle, it was right there at the angle where it transitions into the transmission tunnel. So I can kind of hide them there. They are kind of visible, so it's easy to work on, but they're not as visible as it would have been, you know, up here if they were red, or over here, or something like that, where it's like, you know, right in the way. So what I'll have to do is, when I'm running my wires, I'm going to run the ones that run the car, I'm going to run it on this side, down the left side. And the ones for the stereo, I'm going to run down the right side. And when it gets to here, that's the only part where I'll have the positive and negative like cross over, because I'll have the one for the car. It'll be the negative will just go straight up to here, and then the positive will come over, and it'll probably go to the top one on the one for the car, and then this one right here will be the one for the stereo. So I'm gonna go ahead and get at least the first little set of wires ran down the tunnel. It probably won't be mounted or anything. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to do. I want to get probably at least one maybe ground cable over here maybe, and just kind of bolt it on and then ran towards the back. And then at least one of the, I think I got two, or I got one that hasn't been terminated yet and one that has been terminated. So I'd like to get at least one of the positives run to the back as well, just so I can kind of get an idea on what I want to do on the layout. And I'll go ahead and get that knocked out, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. This quick because I'm running out of storage space. So that's kind of way the wiring is going to be for the main battery. I got the positive for the secondary battery right there. And then I went ahead and come out here and hooked things up under the hood. I got my main starter wire and alternator to that top one right there. As you can see, yeah, it's visible, but not as visible as it would have been. Alternator comes out there. Starter right there. I'll run a secondary one there. And then that's it. I'm going to quickly close this video out. Some of you might be up in the comments, I can hear it now. You don't need two secondary, you don't need two alternators on two batteries and blah, blah, blah. I'm running it separately because I was told that standalone ECUs don't like big stereo systems. I'm only running the standalone ECU because I couldn't find a factory one to run that motor because it was a Japan only motor, and it's kind of hard to source that part. So I'm on a standalone ECU. They're sensitive to voltage drop, so I figure I'll run the factory alternator on the ECU to run the car, and then run a totally separate alternator, totally separate battery, all that just for the stereo, hoping that the two don't cross-talk to each other and one doesn't steal amperage from the other. I know that when the bass hits, it's likely that the alternator for the bass could potentially put a strain on the original alternator, which could cause it to slow down, but I'm working on something for that as well to avoid slippage and stuff, and you'll see that later on when I actually get to it. But until then, I hope you liked the video. I'm going to try to get as many out as I can. If you do like the video, like the video. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. And until next time, peace.